Hey, my name is Sarah and welcome back to another episode of Talking Fast. You just decided right now you don't want hood off.
Different episode, different look,
different look. Because to no one's surprise, we bank episodes and film them on the same day. So if you're watching this, hey, we're still in the same outfits as last week and that is totally okay. We're all about productivity here. But what we're going to start off with is, what are you eating or drinking this week, Jacob?
Okay. I went to a little cafe that I've walked past near my house so often. It's called the Purple Penguin.
That's a cute name.
I know. And I don't know why I'd never gone in. You know, these little neighborhoody spots, and they're like just far enough away that like it's not your go-to.
That it's like a little inconvenient, but
yeah. I wanted a bagel. I looked up who has a bagel around here.
Got it.
I was like, oh, they got bagels on this menu. Let me go try some of these bagels. Walked in, ordered the bagel. Bagel was great, but also the guy behind the counter, he was super nice. And we were gonna get there was like an apple cake or something like that, and he's like, you could do that, but we also have apple fritters. So I tried an apple fritter and oh my God. Now listen, for anyone who is Southern Ontario, you know that like St. Jacob's, the apple fritter spot at the St. Jacob's Farmers Market is pretty serious business.
Did not know that, but good to know.
These stand up to it and are even better, I would say.
That's crazy.
So anyway, this is just my recommendation to go and try that neighborhood spot that you've walked past because there's probably a hidden gem, a truly hidden gem.
Love that.
Anyway, what about you? What are you eating or drinking this week?
So it's not so much like what specifically, but I'm eating at home.
Ooh.
There was a really big moment for me this weekend that I wanted to share. On Saturday night, I was having a night in, and that is normally and I was a little hungover, and I was like, normally that is a prime like setup for we are going to be ordering a pizza or something, whatever. But no, I had a HelloFresh meal that I hadn't made yet, and I needed to make it, and I got my butt up off the couch and I made it, and it was the right choice because the meal was delicious and I loved it. It was just like chicken stir fry, like it was so simple, but so yummy.
It's healthy for you too.
And I didn't feel like crap after eating it,
yeah.
And I had all the nutrients and power I needed to do my puzzle. So who would have thought? It really was like, I was on Uber Eats. I was like scrolling and then I was like,
ooh, you're so strong.
I'm so strong. And I decided.
But I mean, I said that kind of sarcastically,
no,
but I mean
true.
that seriously.
I know. It's tough. It's tough to break old habits. So now I'm like, I get excited to make food at home now. So this is not an advertisement. It sounds like it, but it's truly, I'm changing my ways because I'm normally just order food the first second it pops to my mind.
It's a good balance too, because if you've gone out the night before, you know what?
Exactly.
Why not balance it out with the health?
100%. That was my mentality.
That's good. Sarah, what are you watching or reading this week?
So when we're recording this, I am about to leave for Ireland.
In like 24 hours.
24 hours. My flight takes off from now. Actually, that's terrifying. And so, I mean, by the time you're listening to this, I'm back, hopefully, and it's all gone great. But I really did not plan much for this trip. It snuck up on me. I kind of forgot it was happening. So the last week I've been binging as many videos on Ireland as possible because to be honest, I don't know that much about it. The flights were cheap.
Where are you
Everyone
going
says
specifically?
it's fun. Dublin and Galway.
Okay.
I hope I come back and I will be someone whose Ireland videos you guys want to binge and are like, whoa, like she made it look so fun. Because I really have no idea what we're doing yet. I'm going to go on the Guinness tour and I know that I'm going to go to the Cliffs of Moher. But other than that, we're going to fuck around and find out. That's my vibe
like
this trip.
Anyone who I've ever talked to who's gone to Ireland says just like the pub scene,
it's
obviously,
just so good.
Go in, good food, good music a lot of the times as well.
So
it's a good time.
We'll see.
I like
that. So I'm just watching Ireland videos right now because it's just my entire For You page, like what to wear. Is it going to
be cold?
It's warmer than here. It's like 5 degrees, but it's more rainy. So it's still cold. So it's like a weird, truly.
Don't get blown off that cliff.
I hopefully will not. That's why I said hopefully I'm back.
Stay far away.
And you guys can follow along on my trip to Ireland. That as of me leaving in 24 hours, I have no idea what I'm going to be doing.
I love that. That's kind of a fun trip though. When like it's up.
It's so not me, but it's like, it's just the reality that I'm living in right now. What about you? What are you watching or reading right now?
Okay. Prime Video sent us this. I was
I watched this
stoked.
too.
I was actually so stoked because
I
had gone to a movie like a month ago and I saw this as a preview, I think, or I was watching something and I saw this as a preview for this movie. And I was like, that looks right up my alley. I'm going to give it a little nod to Wedding Crashers because that's one of my favorite movies. And I was like, ooh, that sounds like it could be Wedding Crashers-esque. Plus, I'm a massive Will Ferrell fan. And I've been watching The Morning Show actually with that as
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon, thank you. You're cordially invited.
I watched it too.
Did you like it?
I really liked it. It reminded me of Bride Wars with Anne Hathaway
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you'd love it.
I'm gonna watch it.
With Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson. It's about like two best friends who are getting married on the same day at the plaza. So they were like sabotaging each other and like just doing so that's like what this is. It's like two weddings that end up getting double booked at the same day. So then they are sabotaging each other's weddings.
I liked it. It was fun.
And it's fun and just gets more ridiculous as the movie.
I feel like any Will Ferrell starring movie has to get a little bit ridiculous.
The alligator.
Yeah. I liked it. I would say recommend it.
I would recommend it too. It's a really good, just like if you don't know what to watch on a Friday night, you're like, I want to watch something that's like lighthearted.
100%. Or like a 6 p.m. Saturday and you're not going out later.
That's true. And like a couple hours, throw it on while you're eating dinner.
Make your dinner. Make yourself some dinner.
Yeah.
Toss it on.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I love it.
What are you listening to this week?
Okay, TikTok, all of a sudden these ads pop up and it's music and they're like promoting some new artist that like has this new song. A lot of the time I'm like, scroll, let's get this out of here. Get this out of my face.
You want to find your own music yourself and
dig
through the trenches.
Something Sarah's never going to see. No, but Cameron Whitcomb, he's a Canadian, I think, country artist.
I don't know who this is.
Canadian country artist.
I don't know who anyone is.
He's got a song. You've definitely heard this song because it's been all over TikTok recently, called Medusa. I'm like, Mother Nature, can you give me a little bit of summertime? Because I need to go windows down on this song right now. I'm going to go, in fact, I was listening to this song and I added something to my bucket list.
To your bucket list?
Yeah.
Because of this song, Medusa.
What is it? And not directly for any lyrics or anything like that, but an overall vibe. You know what I've never done that I'm going to do this year?
What?
I've never driven a pickup truck.
Oh.
Have you?
I learned to drive on a pickup truck.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Flex.
Ford F-150, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what I learned to drive on.
If Ford, you know what? Ford is probably listening. I think Ford's a big fan of this podcast. I need to drive a pickup truck.
You had the opportunity to drive a Ford pickup truck last year. When we were going to when I was working with them and doing the like Leafs outdoor thing and they were doing those like driving things and you were invited to come too. Remember at one point we were going to do a podcast in the pickup truck?
Oh, that's right. Okay, let's run that back. We're
going to interview like Dean Brody or something like some country singer in the pickup
Sarah,
truck.
we're manifesting this again. We're going to interview Cameron Whitcomb in the back of a Ford F-150.
Or any other pickup truck that would like to let us use it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a Ford. I'm a massive pickup truck fan.
You've never driven a pickup truck?
Yeah, I want to go get a coffee in a pickup truck. I want to go.
I like how you're the accent you just put on when you start talking about that.
Anyway, I would recommend. I added it to my Talking Fast. What am I listening to this week?
Love
playlist
that.
on Spotify. So go check that out.
Do it.
Sarah, what about you? What are you listening to this week?
I saw this thing on TikTok where someone was talking about Grey Taylor Swift albums and how like if you like one Grey album, they're all your favorite albums.
Like the album cover?
Like the albums that are Grey, like their covers.
Okay.
And I realized that is so true to me because my favorite albums are Folklore, Reputation, and the Anthology, which is the second part of
Reputation. In there is kind of a vibe shift though, isn't it?
No, not if you truly understand.
Oh, okay.
But those are my favorite albums. So they're all like, it's lyric heavy albums. Anyways, so I've just been listening. So I made a playlist for myself. If anyone wants it public, let me know. It's just Taylor Swift Grey albums. And I just listened to the three of them shuffled. And because they're all like, I don't know what it is about them all being gray. It actually has nothing to do with it, but for some reason, the aura of it makes more sense.
I do like the sometimes seemingly arbitrary way of categorizing things that ends up being something cool.
It works.
Like that.
It works.
I like that.
I love it.
Sarah, something you did this week?
I planned my Euro summer.
Okay, wait, you're going to Europe this summer?
Yeah, so I leave for Europe in 24 hours to Ireland, and then I'm going again this summer.
Where you going?
Which I need to clarify, because when I walked into this studio, someone said, I thought you were only traveling Canada this summer. And I would like to clarify.
That's what I thought too.
I did not say that. You can tell I live with a lawyer. What I said was if you are reconsidering traveling south, maybe instead of traveling south, look at our own backyard in Canada. And as someone that rides hard for traveling within Canada and rides hard for going to the East Coast.
Within the Commonwealth?
I'm only going to travel within, I don't even think that's the Commonwealth.
Well, England.
Oh yeah, well that's true. I am going. No, but I'm just not traveling to America anytime soon. But this has been planned forever. So we bought tickets to see Oasis at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, that's right.
I
did know that.
Yes, and so that's like a bucket list show. Oasis in London. we ended up getting 12 tickets, and there's like 10 of us. We have 2 extra tickets if anyone needs them, but there's like 10 of us going, but 6 of that 10 we're 3 couples, and we're gonna do a little Euro summer 2.5 weeks throughout.
Okay, so aside of going to this concert, what else are you doing?
We're gonna go some places that I've been before. One place that I haven't been, we're gonna go to Spain.
Ooh.
We're gonna go to Mallorca.
Ooh.
Mallorca is all over my TikTok now. It's a sign. Benson Boone was talking about it on the red carpet of the Grammys. Mallorca. We're gonna go to Mallorca. We're gonna go to Barcelona. We're gonna go to the south of France.
Barcelona's fun.
I've never been. We're going to go to south of France, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. And then we're going to do one night in Paris on the way up, because then we're going to take the train to London. So
and fly back.
Are
you doing?
No, we're
does
going.
The concert end the whole trip, or
yes,
is it?
The concert ends the trip. We're ending at working towards the concert, because we felt like if we started with the concert, it's kind of like weird after that. And
that's so fun. You'll be leading up to the concert.
We're leading up to the concert, so we still have something to look forward to, like the
entire
movie. Trip. 100%, it's like a movie. So we planned it, and when we were going, like, we're gonna be flying over Paris anyways, we're like, let's just stop in Paris.
Parachute
guys
out.
Need to go. We'll go for 24 hours. I've lived there for a month. I can make a 24-hour in Paris itinerary like the back of my hand, and then we'll take the train. And it's so much easier to take the train from Paris to London, because it takes you from central to central. It's just like so easy, especially with a group of people. So that's what we're doing. Euro summer. It's not summer, it's like 2.5 weeks, but I'm so excited because I've never been to Europe in the summer other than for work. It's only ever been for work trips.
You're gonna have the best time.
I know, all the Aperol spritz I'm gonna drink. It's gonna be so much fun.
That's a lot to pack for too, though.
Yeah, I will be overpacking, and I will be bringing big suitcases, because I'm 20. I'm gonna be 29 years old. I don't need to be backpacking when I do that. But anyways, what's something you did?
I'm back in the Peloton workouts, Sarah.
Okay.
I'm back in my fitness era. I got a little couch heavy around Christmas time into January.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I needed to get back into the strength workouts as well as running, as we're getting closer to races and bringing Run Club back, which is actually probably happening this week or next week. It might be happening this Saturday. Probably this Saturday.
I can't do math.
The 8th. No, Wednesday the 5th.
This would be the first day of Run Club.
It's today.
It's the first day of Run Club.
So we'll see you soon. But you know what I mean? Like, sometimes when you get out of a routine and you're like, nah, I just won't do that workout. I'll just leave it. I'll do one next week. I got out of the habit of it. So I'm back in it, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm taking it a little bit slower.
Love that.
I'm doing some shorter ones to start, but I'm like, okay, I'm back in routine, knock on wood. It all goes to plan, but I'm enjoying it.
What is something that you're loving to end us off?
Oh, okay. I did this. I've only done this once, but I think I want to continue it on for this foreseeable future. I'm not going to say any specifics, but in the family group chat that I have, there's 6 of us in there, and like my siblings and our partners. At Friday, there were a couple pieces of news throughout the week that people in the chat, my family, had kind of new successes, new things they're proud of, that kind of thing. So I did a week roundup on Friday, like Friday evening, and I was just like, I'm proud of you guys for this and this and this and this and this.
So wholesome.
Everyone got their own little paragraph, and it created some good vibes in the family chat. So I'm like, why not expand that as well to other people, but then also continue it on? Because I feel like sometimes you forget to celebrate even little wins, and some of them were really little wins, but you know what? It was a good vibe, and I think go and try that with your friends as well.
I love that. Yeah, celebrating like even things that maybe we normally take for granted that people just like naturally do, or something like that. So
100%.
It's good to get an attaboy once in a while.
Yeah, 100%.
We love 100%. A good attaboy.
What's something you're loving this week?
In the most real way possible, I'm not loving a lot right now. I'm in the little funk right now. And so I don't want to like sit here and be like, I'm loving this or blah, blah, blah. What I'm not. I don't really know what's going on. Could it be seasonal depression? Probably. But I'm just in a little bit of a funk. I take my vitamin D every day. And maybe by the time, and by maybe I mean I very much so hope by the time like I'm back, and this is like recorded a few weeks out obviously, that maybe I just need a change of scenery, like a change of pace, whatever. But I'm just in a little bit of a funk right now, which is okay. I'm working through it. I'm just aware of it. We're just like figuring things out.
Well, speaking of, I'll extend the family group chat to you as well then, because sometimes a good thing is just like being aware that you're in a funk, and like, you want to take steps to probably like change that a little bit, but understanding that like that is something that you're going through, and like being open about that to yourself is a big step. So commend you on that.
Thank you. Mel Robbins tells me that I just have to talk about it out loud, and I have to vent about the good and the bad, and then that makes it real, and then that'll make me feel better. So thanks, 100%. Mel.
100%. Good advice.
Yeah, Mel's the best. Welcome to our quarterly town hall that we are recording.
Sarah, welcome. Thank you for meeting at the board table.
It's this is our board meeting. Pretend we're a big corporation. I used to work for one that used to do this all the time, and we would do quarterly town halls. We're approaching the end of Q1. We still have like a few weeks left to Q1, but I think this is a good time to do a check-in.
Of course.
So that we can reach our Q1 goals by the end of Q1.
Yes, I agree.
I think instead of just looking back on the year this year as a whole, we should do these quarterly check-ins with our audience, with each other, with the vibes.
We got things we want to do. We want people we want to talk to. We got to make sure that we're continuing to manifest the type of person that we want to talk to on
And
Talking
not even just that, I do think we need to just like, it's good to just take a step back and like break up the year into like quarters and make it a little bit easier for yourself and like goals that way.
Also, do you ever have a goal that you're like, January 1st, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then by end of March, you're like, actually, I have no interest in doing this for the remainder of the year. But you kind of leave it on your to-do list, your bucket list for the year.
But you're like, that's a quarterly goal.
It's a quarterly goal. Get rid of that. Reframe. Get some new goals.
So welcome, listeners, viewers. If you're watching or listening, if you're in your car, if you're at a board meeting yourself, I don't know. Welcome to our quarterly check-in. First thing we're going to do, vibe check. First quarter of the year. How are you feeling?
Ooh, you know what? I'm feeling a little sluggish, to be honest.
Same.
Feeling a little sluggish. I know we talked on the other half about trying to get back into a workout routine. Mm-hmm. That is one of the reasons for that is like, okay, if there's a lot that is external to me that feels out of my control, could be something happening work-wise, could be something in the world. Then there's no shortage of news right now that is,
we'll talk about that later. A little
bit overwhelming. But like one thing that is a good maybe quarterly update to do with yourself is like, what do you have control over that you can implement into your life that'll give you a little sense of like, I'm on top of things, even if everything else is crumbling around you. So if you're feeling sluggish, for me, it's like, let's do workout routine.
I like that. So for me, it's really weird. So like, this quarter, obviously, it was also the start of my first quarter, like completely working for myself. Right.
Yes.
First few weeks of January, this always happens. First weeks of January, I am on it. I'm like, new year, new me. Who's the old me? I've never seen her before. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like productive as hell. La, la, la. Like doing all my things. I'm waking up early. I'm like, got my routine down. And then there was a shift and I don't know what it was. Nothing specific triggered it, but I've just like gone into like, the only way I've been describing it to my friends is sad girl. Like I'm just a little sad right now. And I don't know why, but I've just like shifted and I feel sluggish and I feel like a little off right now.
Yeah.
And so then I beat myself up because I'm like, oh my God, like you were so productive before, like what's happening? So that's great advice that you just said about like taking the things that you can control and going one step at a time, because I'm in that phase right now. It's like, okay, what can I control right now? Let's break it down even smaller. We've just broken down the year to quarters to make ourselves like more focused. What can I now do that's even smaller than that? I make my little to-do list and I realized I'd fallen off of that because I was making a to-do list every day and like crossing off little things and it was making me feel like really good. So even today, as recently as today when we recorded this, I'm like, do you know what? Let's just get the notebook back out and do that little to-do list. And I felt great because now I crossed off all the things on my to-do list before I came here.
I love that. I'm on the same page, exact same page, because I feel like maybe at the end of last year, I said in one of our opening segments, I was like, oh, it's something I'm trying this week is not using a to-do list anymore because I felt overwhelmed by that point. I had to bring it back as well.
Yeah.
I brought it back this year.
Good for a little bit of structure.
Yeah. And I like having the easy ones on there.
I always do that.
I have coffee on my to-do list every day. Cross, X, done.
I love that. I love having a little one that I can just go like check mark. So I even as recently as today, when I woke up, I was like still nice, sluggish, like not feeling great, like feeling sad girl. And I was like, what can that's one thing that I can do that's in my control. And I was like, I can make a to-do list. That's in my control. Okay. I can't really control how I'm feeling right now. So like, how can I control everything else? So it's like, I just like did little things and I felt way better today than I have in the past few days. So I think like, that's probably something that I'm trying to get back into because I started the year off so productive, but yeah, I'm really trying to like give myself some grace. I always though at the beginning of this year was like trying to give myself the grace of like, I have a lot of changes just happened in my life. And I think that's probably what the issue is right now is I'm like just catching up on like how much has happened. and creating my own schedule and being my own boss and just like the uncertainty, then there's obviously like all this like political climate and the uncertainty there. Like there's like a lot of stuff that's like very uncertain. So I think.
Do you find, I find sometimes, especially right now, it's a little heated. But also if you're feeling sluggish, someone comes to you and they ask you a question and you're like, you have to think about the answer. Sometimes you don't have the answer, but you're like, oh God, I have to come up with something 100%. That's going to like please you here to give you like my take on this political climate or what I think you should do with quitting your job or getting a new, leaving a relationship or any number of things like that. You know, I think it's fine. I'm not one to do this myself because I try to get an answer all the time. But like, I think it's fine to not have an answer. Be like, oh, honestly, I don't know. I can't help you out.
That's like good advice, honestly, that I probably need because I was having this discussion with Tara the other day because she said to me, she's like, I think you're the first true extrovert I've ever met in my life. In the sense that like so the fact that so I'm really struggling right now because I don't feel like I want to go out and do things, which is like so against who I am as a person. And like, I am an extrovert. Like I get fueled. I always feel better once I've gone out and done something because I like get fueled by that. Whereas most people in my life are introverts who truly like, they fuel themselves by going home, having their me time, whatever. And that's great. I love my me time too, but it's like, I get fueled by other people. I get fueled by creativity and all of these things. And with that though, is like one of the things I said this weekend was, I just like wasn't in it. I was like literally supposed to be at a concert on Saturday. And then like my friends were like, oh, let's like go out for dinner instead. And I was like sitting on the couch and I was like looking at Nolan and I was like, he's like, what's like going through your head? I'm like, I don't want to like sit and have a conversation right now. Like that's like where I was at. And that's I fucking talk all day. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, who am I? But it was just recognizing I'm like, I don't have the energy or the brain capacity right now to like actually have a conversation at all. And then that's when I went out and, as you heard in the other episode, I went and bought a puzzle. I didn't have to talk to anyone. I just sat there and did it. But that's what I needed in that moment. And so I'm really trying not to give myself like too much shit. Do you think
that's a temporary thing or like a shift that you're just like, damn, I just spent too much energy?
I think it's temporary. I fucking hope it's temporary. I
mean, I just mean like we're temporary in the sense of like, or do you think
a shift in myself as a person?
Just maybe you do a few more puzzles in life. Nothing major.
Maybe,
but like,
maybe. Yes and no, but I think I've already shifted in that sense. Like I used to literally make myself up plans every single night of the week because I didn't want to think about my feelings or thoughts or whatever. Whereas I already that's already shifted. Like I'm very good at making myself build out time and whatever. But this is just, it feels different. It's not the same as like me needing a self-care night. It's like truly like, I don't want to talk to people. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. I was kind of the opposite. I had a very busy January. Even up until like kind of right now, actually,
in
like
February,
today, that like there were weeks where I maybe had like in 3 weeks, I maybe had like 1 or 2 nights that didn't have any plans.
That's crazy.
And that's rare for me.
That's like my life.
Honestly, but it was so busy. And I'm like, I found it overwhelming in the sense of, I need a couple nights to just like chill, recharge, but then also think about what I want to be doing. Where do I want to take the next quarter? Speaking of this quarterly review, as opposed to just getting like caught up and maybe tripping over my own feet by being a little bit too busy.
I think the next thing we should cover in this quarterly meeting, next thing on the agenda is, okay, so like we just did a little vibe check, how we're both feeling. What about goals and like where you're at with any goals that you had for this year already? Was there anything that you set out to do that you've already fallen off or anything that you are still working towards, or are you someone that's a little bit more flexible with your goals? Like where are you feeling?
I think I'm a little bit more flexible with my goals, but I'll bring up one for this podcast specifically. And it was an example. The example I use is from a guest that we had on, Taya, from the other day, who is a crisis PR person.
She was great.
Great. Honestly, great. I enjoyed the chat a lot. I would love to talk to more people on this show that I'm like a little unsure of. Maybe that's not the right word, but like I had some preconceived notions about what crisis PR was going into it, and I genuinely learned something and had a really engaging conversation.
Like people that challenge us a little bit more.
Yeah,
maybe?
that I brought something. It broke me out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm like, I like those interviews. And I like not only just on Talking Fast, but also you could use that as an example of like, oh, you want to go out and do things that are going to break you out of your comfort zone, to give you the opportunity. Maybe you don't discover anything new about the topic or person or whatever that you're kind of engaging with. But in that one, I was like, that's an interesting thing.
I never thought we'd have a politician on this show ever. That's why I felt
well, that one was also crazy. Yeah.
And I think that's like the same thing. So I'd say like, yeah, when we had a goal, I think for this show, we always have a goal just to expand and grow, whatever that means. Like I don't really set like, we need this many listeners and whatever. I just want us to like constantly be growing and evolving. And I do feel like if we're talking about the show specifically, we can like, that's like, we're on track for that for this quarter. I would argue, because like we had the former deputy prime minister in, like, that's crazy.
I've said that to people recently and they're like, whoa.
I don't think,
but then also why?
I think it was one of those things that I didn't realize how big of a deal that was until like hindsight after.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Actually, this is interesting. We're like doing a debrief on this one.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this yet.
You know what like freaked me out a little bit after that interview, like after I went home and I was like, well, I think it was a pretty good interview. Was that, she was the deputy prime minister. She's a finance minister, minister of foreign affairs. She's like huge in running this country, or has been so influential in running this country for years and years and years. It was a little weird to just speak to someone like that face to face, because that kind of takes away a little of the like allure of this big, powerful person. 100%. Yeah. But it gave me this like existential crisis a little bit, not in the sense of just looking at politicians in that way, but looking at everyone like in
celebrities.
That way. Celebrities, or just like, when you're in high school and you're like, I got a crush on that person. But there's like, you don't want to go up and talk to them.
It like builds up this big thing.
Yeah, you can. Oh my God, the stories that you tell yourself in your head about anyone else is bullshit. But also, then I was like, oh fuck, we got just like normal people running the country. Not to say she's not extraordinary at what she did,
it's true.
Like,
I think, what I mean? No, but it humanizes them in a way that you're like, oh, it's like she's really just a girl that reads Fourth Wing too.
Yeah,
and it was just like, oh, that's it. Yeah, and then it was weird for me is like, then I go home and like turn on the news and like she's on the news.
I know, so weird.
Talking, and I was like it was crazy. So yeah, I think that was definitely an interesting challenge for us.
Yeah,
it was so different than anything we had done before.
Aside from guests on the show, what do you have a goal that's shifted since the beginning of the year to where you want to go? What you want to do now?
Oh, like on my own?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily show related, but it could be anything. We're talking about how goals can kind of shift, or you add to take away from that yearly to-do list. Yeah,
I really this year purposely didn't really set a lot of goals for like a business like growth perspective, because I didn't want to put pressure on myself, and I'm really happy I did that now, because I'm like we're over halfway through the first quarter of the year, and I'm like, there's just like a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. There's a lot of like stressors of outside. Like the current state of the world is like, we've got like Trump talking pre-Super Bowl, like about how, yes, he's serious about Canada becoming a 51st state, and all these things that like people joked about for a long time that I just like, I'm really starting to like take very seriously. And I don't know, I just think that I'm really happy that I didn't set too many like big, massive goals for myself. I'm like really just taking everything like day by day, and like, seeing what I'm enjoying doing. And I'm really like looking at each day and being like, am I enjoying what I'm doing? Yes or no? If yes, great. I will continue to do more of it. If no, then I won't. So like, there's already work that I've turned down or said no to, because I'm like, I didn't enjoy doing that. It's like, why would I put more stress on myself? And it might've been things that I thought I would want to do more of once I went freelance, and it's just learning every single day. So I think there's so much like stress outside that's so out of my control. The thing I'm trying to control is just like every single day, just trying to enjoy whatever.
And protect your own energy a little bit.
100%. That sounds like so cliche, protecting my energy. But it's the truth. It's the only thing I can really do.
Where my crystals at?
I'm not really a crystals girl, but how about you? Is there like anything in that space, or are you kind of in the same boat as me?
I mean, one of the big ones that I was toying with, or have been toying with, is running related too. I always yearly have a running goal.
Oh, you don't have one this year? Right, yeah. Like, see, the reason I made... And as of this podcast, I haven't been on a run yet this year. And I'm like, I'm about to get the best shape of my life. It's like, I have been working out. I have been like weight training and weightlifting and like really trying to make myself more well-rounded when it comes to fitness. But it's just like, But
the other thing is like, if you don't achieve a goal of running a race, if you have fun in the year, that's a good time by my book.
Yeah. So the marathon training, if we're going to talk about that as a quarterly goal, Run Club is coming back. If you're listening to this, Run Club is back. We're going to be doing it 2 days a week to start. Wednesdays will be shorter runs, 5-6Ks. Saturday mornings will be long runs. We're talking like...
I'm excited for these, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good structure for us as well. And it's also selfishly to help me with my goal of training and running for my first marathon this year. So.
Yeah, Haley is running a half marathon.
So exciting.
April. I went on a run with her the other day.
It was crazy seeing her in your Strava post.
I know. Well, that's what I was just going to say is that like I think one of my goals, I just want Strava kudos. I just want thousands and thousands
then do
kudos
that.
on Strava.
You should on the Chipotle running thing.
Oh
challenge.
My God, dramatic.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I haven't like started on my goals or whatever this quarter, don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. That's literally why we're just doing this like little short check-in with you. And if you have any questions for us about goal setting or things that we're looking forward to or things that you need advice on when it comes to goal setting, please just like shoot us a message at Talking Fast Show, shoot us an email, any of those things.
Wait, can I give a shout out? Speaking of goals, I remember we had an episode, months and months and months ago where someone was asking for advice on a partner who had cheated on them.
Yeah, and then she messaged us and
she messaged recently. We're not going to say any names, but
she left him. That's a good goal to start off the year.
Yeah, honestly. So congrats on that.
That's good. That's a good kudos to end this off on, I think. This was just short and sweet. Thank you for coming to our little board meeting. We just wanted to do like a super quick little check-in to make sure that we're all in the same spot. So if you're stressed about your goals or you haven't really done any of them for the year yet, don't worry. You still have the rest of Q1 and we're just going to trek along and continue. Do you align on that?
I am very much aligned on that.
So corporate speak. Are you aligned? We'll circle
back by EOD on this one.
Maybe not EOD, maybe EOM.
EOQ.
EOQ. End of quarter. Do people say that? I don't work a corporate job anymore. And thank you for listening every single week. Interacting, commenting, sending us questions, whatever it might be. You can, if you don't do that normally, you can do so at Talking Fast Show, or you can email us at talkingfastshow.
Email us, please, because I'm still, speaking of the cheating one, I'm looking for more tea. If you have tea, come and pour.
So that's Jacob's quarterly goal is the most tea possible. How much tea can we spill Q over Q?
Give me your best tea and we will...
anonymously figure it out for you.
I'll figure it out.
But as always, I've been Sarah. That's been Jacob. Thank you for listening. That's a wrap on Q1 almost. There's still more episodes in Q1. So
the paperwork is in the mail.
It's in the mail. You can listen every single Wednesday. We have new episodes dropping, or come to a Run Club on Wednesdays or Saturdays. Find all the info on Instagram. Bye.